Today we're talking about the 5 things I regret doing the most when I started my real estate business. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great day. If you don't know who I am, my name is Aaron. I'm a real estate agent here in the Chicagoland area, and I come to you twice a week with some type of valuable content, a day in the life, educational, or I share a story. Today, we're taking a dive into Humbleville, and I'm going to share the 5 things I regret doing the most when I started my real estate business. So there I share some of the things are things I regret not doing. But my biggest regrets with my real estate business, and I think if I had just made these proper adjustments, I think I would have been at least 2 to 3 years ahead of where I am today. So my hope is with this video, I can help you avoid the same mistakes and jumpstart your career so you ain't got to go through it all that I had to. That being said, if you end up enjoying the content, do me the greatest favor, please hit the like button, comment your thoughts, feedback, questions, concerns, insult, compliments, whatever. It helps the algorithm, it helps me get to more people, and then that's what we're looking to do. And finally, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you want to take an extra level of support, subscribe to the Patreon. I'll do a weekly call with everybody on there every Thursday at 10 a.m. That's out the way. Let's get down and toss this salad and discuss my 5 biggest regrets with my real estate business, what I wish I would have done better. And number 1, my lead gen method. I found myself a couple years into real estate being completely miserable. I hated the way I built my business. I hated going to work. I hated the fact that I was doing what I was doing. I hated how I was getting business. The client experience wasn't as good. And it was all because of the way I was generating leads. The way you generate leads has to cater to your personality, what comes to you most naturally, right? And what comes to you most naturally is not persuading, not convincing someone, not being salesy. What comes to me most natural is delivering value, being on camera, right? Just creating content comes to me very naturally. And in my first 2 years as a real estate agent, I completely shut down all my Instagram, my Facebook, all that. I was barely making any content, and I was 100% focused on cold calling. There's nothing wrong with cold calling, but I'm just not built to be a cold caller. Now, I was, smart enough, enthusiastic enough, or whatever you could say, persuasive enough to get a lot of appointments, and I had a lot of experience. So I don't necessarily, it's not my biggest regret, but I know for a fact if I started my first year and making content right away, documenting the journey and just expressing everything I learned, I think my business would have been 2 to 3 years ahead of time. So the lesson in that is when you start out, pick a lead gen method that comes to you most naturally and you enjoy doing the most. I say this all the time. Reason being is 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you're going to find yourself miserable because even if you are successful, you hate what you do for a living. And the reason we quit our jobs is to do what we love, right? To do whatever we want, whenever we want, okay? You don't want to be stuck cold calling 9 to 11, 4 years into your career. Trust me, if that's not what you want to do. Some people love it. Some people don't mind. It's no hassle. For me, I hated it. So that's regret number 1. Regret number 2, and I know this what I would say was I think the biggest thing I regret, because it definitely slowed my business down, guaranteed, for 2 years. Because even though I hated cold calling, I was calling like a madman. I was incredibly ambitious, and my work ethic was top tier, right? So I was getting a lot of appointments. But because I had overvalued myself in the marketplace, I wasn't able to close, right? And it was 100% my fault. Now, the coaching I was subscribed to said never lower your commission less than 6%. And me being a prideful, egotistical maniac, I said absolutely not. Yeah, I'm the best real estate agent in the world. You better pay me like I'm the best real estate agent in the world. But what I didn't think in my young, naive mind is you don't become the best without any experience. You need to first go into the marketplace, get clientele, get experience, get knowledge, so that way people who are paying a premium, they're paying a premium to get access to your knowledge. So I definitely overvalued myself in the marketplace, which resulted in me losing a lot of deals. I did go back and count how many deals that I would have gotten, how many listings I would have gotten if I just lowered my commission to 5%. Now, I'm not saying lower your commission to be a discount broker. I never did that, never will do that. But in my market, 5% was the norm. I was charging 6. I was having a hard time competing with all the other agents, been in the game 5 years, 10 years, charging 4 to 5%. And this young kid with bad haircut, crooked teeth, horrible glasses, and bad suit comes in wanting 6%. It's just impossible to do. Right? Very difficult. So therefore, I lost a lot of clients. But I did the math, a couple years down the road. It was it was $120,000 in lost commissions. But that's not all. That's also an additional 15 clients that I couldn't add to my database. Those 15 clients could have referred me probably another 30 deals in the last 4 years. But that's just opportunity cost. You get some, you don't get some, and that's one of my biggest regrets. So understand what your value is in the marketplace and charge accordingly. That is the biggest mistake I made. I think a lot of business owners make as well. But then when you get better, make sure that you adjust your prices, because now that you are an experienced, knowledgeable agent, you deliver tremendous value to your clients. Now the commission's got to change. Moving on, number 3, big regret, not focusing on relationships. I was all about sales, right? How do I persuade them to do this? What are my objection handlers? Right? If I had just taken a step back and just focused on building relationships with people, not necessarily people I need to buy anything, right? Just in general, have multiple relationships. My barber, my contractor, the guy who, I can't think, sold me my watch or whatever, my videographer, just build relationships, right? And that's what I did in year 3 to year 5, and that's where my business exploded. I wish I did that sooner, because again, that coupled with the proper lead gen method, coupled with the, proper commission, I think I would have exploded out the gate right away. But can't cry over spoiled grapes, whatever the phrase is. So we move on to number 4, which is not starting sooner. At 19 years old, I knew I wanted to be a real estate agent. And I did nothing until 21, because in my state, you couldn't get a real estate license until you were 21 years old. So basically, all I did was I listened to podcasts, and I didn't even read a single book about real estate. I was just watching real estate content on YouTube for basically a year and a half, 2 years. That was a tremendous waste of time, because that is the reason I, picked the wrong lead generation method, in my opinion. That is the reason I didn't build relationships, and that is the reason I charged way too much on my commission, because I didn't get any real world experience. If I had signed up to be an intern from somebody, or worked at a front desk of a real estate office, or anything, right? An assistant to a real estate agent, I would learn right away, okay, how is this agent getting clients? Okay, what is they doing? How much are they charging? Am I worth as much as he's worth? Can I compete with him or her in this marketplace? Yada, 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 right? If I had started at 19, right? And some of you have DM'd me to intern for me, and things like be my assistant, etc., which I greatly admire. If I had started sooner, I think I would have avoided a lot of these mistakes / regrets, and would have, again, jump-started my career. But it is what it is. But we still made it 6 years down the road. Just took longer. Fortunately, I started young, so I could afford it. So if you're starting at 28, you may not have as much time as me, which is why I'm making this video for you, okay? Moving on, the last one of my biggest regrets was bad systems. Bad systems means I was sloppy, okay? I was all over the place. And I'm not talking about having a CMA. I'm talking about just being consistent, mostly with my follow-up. I didn't really have a follow-up system. Now, mind you, I did make the wrong decision about my lead gen method, which was cold calling. But if you're gonna make money through cold calling, you better follow up, because that's where the appointments are set 80% of the time. So I was just living on that 20% of the time appointments, which I was still able to set, but everybody can set those appointments, right? You're not a genius for setting an appointment that they're meeting with 9 agents, right? You're just one of the 9 agents is more competitive. I didn't have the systems in place to do the lead gen method that I was doing at that time. So it was counterproductive, and it was honestly a tremendous waste of time. Now, I learned a lot from it. I don't necessarily cry over it, but it is something that would have made my life easier if at least I was gonna make the cold calls. I wouldn't let them go to waste by not following up, right? Because I didn't have the systems to keep me on track and figure out who I need to call, do that. I was very sloppy. And I'm a little just as sloppy now. I would say that's one thing I still need to work on. However, I do have contingencies in place. I do have a schedule in which I do things, which kind of makes sure that I don't fall apart on the follow up. And I built my business through social media, so every content I make is a piece of follow up, right? So I just catered my business to fit my strengths and weaknesses and push me forward. So that is something I want to get across with this video is, sit yourself down and be very honest with yourself, all right? What is the lead gen method that I know I could do for 5 years straight and not cry about it, right? Not worry about going to work, not make any excuses. Whatever that lead gen method is, you pick it and you stay consistent for minimum 2 years. I guarantee you'll have success, all right? That's number 1. Make sure you charge what you charge, you're worth what you charge, whatever all that stuff is, that you make great relationships with everybody. Don't be all about sales, be all about relationships. Finally, start as soon as you can, because the sooner you start, the sooner you will succeed, and make sure you got the systems in place to help you move forward. That being said, hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to get on the Patreon, it would be greatly appreciated. We do a weekly Q&A call, whatever you want to call it, on the Zoom every Thursday at 10 a.m., link in the description. If you want that one-on-one call, link is in the description. I do 1-hour coaching call with just me and you, talking shop. And then if you enjoyed the video and you haven't yet liked it, and you haven't yet commented, and you haven't yet subscribed, and you made it all the way to the end, put in the comments sour grapes so that I know and you know we are one. Thank you very much for watching. It's lunchtime, so I got to get going. Talk to you soon. Bye.